Mathematical Architecture from the Taj Mahal. Introduction and Backstory of the Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal was built by Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan in remembrance of his love Mumtaz Mahal. Shah Jahan was the fifth Mughal Emperor of India and reigned from 1628 to 1658. The construction of the Taj started when Mumtaz Mahal passed away during pregnancy. Shah Jahan grieved for many months, locking himself up in his room without food or water. After his isolation, he decided to create a mausoleum for the body of his wife. He planned for the mausoleum to be lavishly covered in Makrana marble, jade, and crystal brought from China, sapphires from Sri Lanka, and turquoise from Tibet. The structure took 15 years to completely finish. With the help of over 20,000 skilled workers from all over India, Persia, Europe, and the Ottoman Empire, along with an incredible 1,000 elephants, were used to finish the Taj Mahal. The mausoleum was finished building in 1648 in Agra, India. The Taj is now currently a World Heritage UNESCO site. The main architect behind this structure is Ustad Ahmad Lahori. Ustad has hired us as junior architects to help him figure an estimated amount of Makrana marble he will need to cover certain areas of the Taj Mahal. Here are the major issues. Number 1, travel. It is 800 kilometers from Surat to Agra. Surat is a city where the Makrana marble is, and now we have to transport it to Agra, and that is 800 kilometers. So the transportation costs have to be taken into account. Now, having too much marble is a waste. Having too much is a waste of resources. And our third issue is having less marble is a problem, because then the building cannot be finished, and then again, transportation costs will come into play. Then we have to travel again. So our calculations have to be very precise and on point in order for the building to be finished efficiently. We have to keep that in mind. How the Mughals may have calculated the surface area of the Taj Mahal's dome. The outer layer of the dome was to be covered in Makrana marble. So of course the total surface area of the dome had to be known, or there was no other way how much marble we had to put on top of it. The formula they most likely used is this, and 3 pi r squared, and this is the formula we are going to be using too. So before we use a formula, we have to understand how this formula works, right? How does this work? So basically a hemisphere is basically like half of an actual sphere. That's why it's called a hemisphere, because it's half a sphere. And there's 2 parts defining the surface area of this hemisphere. There's basically the curved surface area, which is also known as CSA, short formed, plus base area, which is basically this. It's known as a circle. Base area is basically the circle. This thing, that's basically the base area. And when we put these together, we're going to get the surface area, hemisphere. Since hemisphere is half of a sphere, curved surface area of hemisphere is equal to half, or pi r squared, or we can also say 2 pi r squared. Base area of a hemisphere is circular, so that can be known as pi r squared. This formula is very similar because that's basically the formula of a circle. To find total surface area, add base area and curved surface area. So it's pi r squared plus 2 pi r squared is equal to 3 pi r squared, and that is how we got our formula. Basically just adding the base and the curved surface area together, we get our formula. So again, the TSA of a dome would equal 3 pi r squared. Now let's actually try to calculate the surface area of the dome. The diameter of Taj Mahal's onion dome is 17.70 meters. And now to find our radius, we divide our diameter by 2, which we get 8.85 meters. Since we have our radius, we can just plug it in to our formula, which is right here, 3 pi r squared. After plugging it in and doing the calculations, we'll get our answer, which is 737.77 meters squared. And as simple as that, we got our surface area. Now we're going to be trying to calculate the surface area of the main segment of the Taj Mahal, which is basically this part. Even though this may look 2D, we're looking at it from a 3D perspective, so we're considering it a rectangular prism. The surface area of a rectangular prism is 2 multiplied by width times length plus height times length plus height times width. And we have our dimensions here. Length is equal to 56.60 meters, width is equal to 23.4 meters, and height is equal to 20.3 meters. So now we have substituted everything for the values of length, width, and height into our equation, and now what we have to do is find the value of the bracket and then multiply it by 2. The value of the bracket here was 2,948.44, and when we multiply it by 2, we get 5,896.88 meters squared. And now, this is the surface area of the main segment of the Taj Mahal. Now to find the initial estimate / rough estimate of the total surface area of the Taj Mahal, we're going to be adding the onion dome surface area plus the mausoleum surface area, which is equal to total estimated surface area. The dome surface area was 737.77 meters squared plus 5,896.88 meters squared, which we end up with 6,634.65 meters squared. Thus, the total amount of Makrana marble we will need to cover the main parts of Taj Mahal is 6,634.65 meters squared. Now, Ustad wants one more thing from us, and that is how we can calculate the area of an arch. So there are many arches that can be found in the Taj Mahal, and from the looks of it, the arch is a composite shape, which means it is made up of 2 or more shapes. The shapes we can see here are a semicircle and a rectangle. So what we need is area of a semicircle, which is equal to half pi r squared, and area of a rectangle, which is equal to length times width. Area of semicircle plus area of rectangle is equal to total area. And that is the formula of an arch. Thank you for listening, and here is my works cited.